Right now I'm sitting here in front of my new 2018 Ford Edge. And as you can see, there's no 2010 Ford Flex. Well, the problem is the engine blew up on my Flex. I recently put up a video about stopping leaks on 2010 Ford Flex, and I pulled the video because it was not a good process and I didn't want to get anybody. What happened with my Ford Flex is from start of a leak to the engine being blown up was 5 days. And the lesson really learned on the Ford Edge is you can't treat that particular 3.5 liter engine that's in the car like you can treat other engines like I'm familiar with, like the Ford Mustangs and the Ranger. So the Ford Flex developed a leak, overheated on the side of the road, had to go get it, add some coolant, whatever. So I went and dropped some coolant seal or seal repair stuff from Blue Devil in there, thinking that, oh, it was like my other cars, the gasket for the timing cover is bad and it's just leaking. That wasn't the case. So on a 3.5 liter Ford Flex, the timing belt or timing chain goes around the water pump, and if that pump bearings go bad, you can have a big problem. So one of the signs that your pump is going bad, it will start leaking coolant out the back. There's actually a drain spot on that, and that was happened with my Flex, but I didn't catch it soon enough. So what happened later was the bearing for the water pump actually went bad, and the chain came off, and the engine blew up. And that is an interference engine, meaning that when the heads go up, they can't collide with the valves. So the engine got blown up. So at that point, I just donated the car. I didn't want to spend any more money on it. So the blue book of the value on that Flex was only about $3,800. The interior of the car was leather. It was trashed. There was a lot of little things showing up and no longer working on the car. So I didn't want to put any money into it. And besides, I found out to get a decent used high mile 3.5 liter engine was going to be about $1,500 to $2,000, not including getting the engine installed and some other stuff and some other parts. If I was to have the engine rebuilt, it was going to be $3,000 to $4,000. So again, on a car worth only $3,800, it wasn't worth my time, so I just got rid of it. But the lesson you can learn from my mistake and my stupidity is the 3.5 liter, if it starts developing a coolant leak around the timing cover, the back towards the alternator, you need to get it in and stop driving it. It usually means that the pump is no longer working, and if the pump is no longer working, there's a good chance that the bearings for the water pump are going bad. Since the timing chain actually wraps around the cam, the upper cams, wraps around the water pump that goes to the other cam and back to the crankshaft. So obviously, if anything in that system goes bad, you will have a problem, and you will not run efficiently or effectively or correctly for that matter. So that's what happened. The bearing went bad, the timing chain got loose, and literally when you try starting the car, you could hear the timing chain just rattling around in the car. So the lesson learned for me is I didn't do enough research on that 3.5 liter. I just assumed it was the same problem my other cars had, and if I would have done research, I would have found that problem. Now, if you ever go to replace an engine on a Ford Flex, the engine actually comes at the bottom. So I don't have enough room in my garage to do that. Even if I wanted to, I would have had to rent a shop or pay somebody else to do it. And the timing cover could have been removed without dropping the engine. But if you were to have somebody do it, it's between $1,500 and $2,000 just to get new guides, new pump, new tensioners, and the labor. And there's a lot of videos out there of people doing it. I could have done it. I just didn't know that was the problem. Unfortunately, that was the mistake that I made of not doing the research. But it can be done. But if you do develop that leak, do not keep driving the car. If you're going to do the work yourself, immediately stop driving the car, pull the timing cover off, and replace that pump with new tensioners and stuff like that. And there's a known problem with those 3.5s. If you even do research on the Ford 3.5 liter, you will see that there's even been a lawsuit filed on behalf of that engine with the bad design. The reason I wasn't really disappointed in the Ford Flex blowing up, the reason I bought another Ford was the car was already at 125,000 miles, and I feel I didn't do enough research on it. So I really don't blame Ford for it. Yes, it's a bad design, but all cars have some sort of design flaw. But learn from me. If you have that leak, stop driving the car, immediately get it into a shop, or if you're gonna do the work yourself, pull that timing cover off, replace that water pump, the tensioners, and the guides in the process. Thanks for watching.